Now, from Nebraska's trusted news source, this is Channel 8 News at 5.
Coming up tonight on the news, a dramatic spike in mail thefts is causing concern, especially with the holiday season right around the corner.
Plus, interest rates are on the rise again to try to curb inflation.
But first, a growing trade dispute between the U.S. and Mexico could impact local agriculture. Good evening, everyone, and thank you so much for joining us tonight. At UNL, experts talked about the changing pattern of global trade.
They say they have several areas of concern, which could cause a lot of uncertainty for farmers here in Nebraska. Channel 8's Matthew Mittleiter has more details in our top story tonight.
Most people don't know it, but everything they eat, wear, what they're using in their daily lives is probably in some way crossed a border at least once or twice or 3 times or more in the case of your automobile.
Global trade connects the world. It fuels economic growth, supports jobs, and helps provide families with affordable goods and services. On Wednesday at UNL, experts discussed the importance of global trade and several concerns which could affect the U.S. economy over the next few years. They say one concern Nebraska farmers should be worried about is Mexico's ban of GMO corn and the use of glyphosate, a herbicide used in farming. McDaniel says Mexico is their largest export market, and it would affect nearly all of Nebraska's corn farmers.
That could dismantle a lot of Nebraska's farming sector because, again, Mexico is the largest export market for Nebraska's farmers, especially corn farmers, all of U.S. corn farmers for that matter.
Kenneth Smith, former chief negotiator for the North American Free Trade Agreement, or NAFTA, said Mexico imports over 19 million tons of yellow corn from the U.S. and is a big importer of wheat, rice, and meat products as well.
The government there in place right now is taking an ideological position against genetically modified organisms. So anything coming from agricultural biotechnology, GMOs in corn, cottonseed, soybeans is being challenged by certain areas of the Mexican government.
He says Mexico has been importing genetically modified corn from the U.S. since the 1990s, and there hasn't been any effects to the environment or human health. Smith also says there are thousands of products derived from corn and corn syrup, and it would be detrimental to both the U.S. and Mexico to have a dispute over agricultural exports when prices are already high.
It's very important for Nebraska because being such a breadbasket to the U.S. and to the rest of the world, Mexico is the #1 destination for all of these products.
McDaniel said if Mexico goes through with this ban, one short-term effect would be a surplus of corn here, which could lower prices over the next couple of years. She says they're looking to the Biden administration to pressure Mexico to explain what its aims are and prevent negative effects. Reporting in Lincoln, Matthew Mittleiter, Channel 8 News.
And as for Mexico's current plans, the country wants to phase out genetically modified corn completely by 2024. To try to slow down inflation, the Federal Reserve once again raised interest rates today.
That's right. It went up 0.75 of a percentage point. That's the 4th straight increase of that size. The hike will likely deepen the economic pain for millions of Americans. It comes as the average 30-year fixed mortgage rate is topping 7%.
My colleagues and I are acutely aware that high inflation imposes significant hardship as it erodes purchasing power, especially for those least able to meet the higher costs of essentials like food, housing, and transportation.
Today's move continued the most aggressive pace of monetary policy tightening since the early 1980s, the last time inflation ran this high. A silver lining in the midst of all this, the job market still remains tight. We have new details now after a stabbing in Northeast Lincoln yesterday.
40-year-old Kenneth Johnson was arrested for second-degree assault and use of a weapon to commit a felony. The stabbing happened just before noon yesterday after a fight broke out at a home near North 68th and Logan Avenue. Police say a 43-year-old man had stab wounds and a 36-year-old woman had minor injuries.
A woman is behind bars after she set several fires near gas pumps. Police say witnesses stopped Amelia Perez after she tried to leave the Easy Go near 27th and O. Police say she set fires with the gas near the pumps before leaving. She is facing third-degree arson charges. And thieves are looking for ways to ruin the holidays. Reports coming in from across the country are warning of a mail theft epidemic.
Channel 8's Veronica Barreto joins us live. And is this affecting Lincoln residents, Veronica?
An audit by the USPS Office of Inspector General found that there were nearly 300,000 reports of mail theft between 2020 and 2021 in the U.S. That's a massive 161% increase compared to previous findings. Here in Lincoln, LPD data reports 3 mailbox theft incidents in the last 7 days. Just a couple months into 2022, Lincoln police were already seeing a major increase in mailbox thefts. There were 32 cases between January and February alone. The average for that time of year is 8. A local mail-in center says it happens more than it's reported.
Packages probably get stolen and may not even be reported to the police. It may just be reported, oh, I ordered a package from Amazon and didn't get it, and then they just resend it.
Authorities across the country are encouraging people to report these types of thefts. They say having a security camera might help. And experts say you should use collection services that are inside postal offices to be safe. You can also sign up for informed delivery to track what's coming to your mailbox. I have even more tips tonight at 6.
All right, thank you very much, Veronica. And speaking of mail theft, on this week's Crime Stoppers holiday shipping thefts are still on the rise.
The Lincoln Police Department has the latest on how you can help catch these criminals in action.
This first case here we'd like to share as a reminder as the holidays draw near to get those packages off the porch as soon as you can. Unfortunately, this victim had a package with $430 worth of clothing stolen off her porch near the area of 18th and H Street. I understand myself, sometimes it's hard to have them delivered to somebody else or get them off the porch as quick as you can. I've had packages stolen myself as well. But there are options now on Amazon. You can have it shipped and then ask them to put it somewhere specific in your yard. I hide mine behind a trash can. You could ship it to friends, families. We just anticipate a lot more package thefts coming up with Christmas gifts and deliveries and things coming up in the next couple months. So just wanted to remind the community of the dangers of packages being left on the porch. This next case happened on October 20th in the area of 29th and Orchard. The victim in this case went to his garage in the morning to get ready to leave for work. Noticed something was a little off, didn't think much of it, but then noticed that his tools were missing, some various cordless power tools and batteries belonging to those tools. He looked around his garage and of course they were missing. Reviewed the camera that he had in his garage and noticed somebody had entered into his garage overnight and taken those items. So we're sharing those images that we have now in the video with the hopes that somebody can help us identify this suspect and get some justice for this victim. If anybody has any information that can help us solve any of these crimes, they can call the Lincoln Police Department directly at 441-6000, Crime Stoppers directly at 475-3600, or they can go online at lincolncrimestoppers.com, and we have all kinds of various links they can click on and leave anonymous tips.
Alrighty, let's switch gears and talk about your weather. Rusty, I almost blew away today.
You and me both. It was very windy out there. It's still very windy out there, and this is going to continue overnight and through the day tomorrow, but there are some changes in the forecast. But right now the wind is out of the south and southwest around 20 to 30 miles per hour. That's sustained for the eastern half of the state. Wind gusts are anywhere from 35 to 45 miles per hour. 45 miles per hour for that wind gust in Lincoln at the top of the hour. So and anywhere you see those purplish colors, that's anywhere from 40 to 45 miles per hour. So a lot of spots seeing that right now, not just Lincoln. Wahoo at 41 miles per hour, Hebron at 38, 32 in Aurora, 36 in Hastings. Not much going on the satellite and radar, just a few clouds here and there. Pretty quiet out there, lots of sunshine. This is Schoen's Roofing cam in Beatrice, and we're seeing plenty of blue sky and temperatures. If it wasn't for the wind, it'd be a really nice day. 75 degrees in Beatrice, 74 in Nebraska City, 76 in Hebron. Everybody in the 70s, even 80. It's 80 degrees in McCook. Megan, it's 80 degrees in McCook. That's her. Shocker. Yeah, surprised. Wind gusts through tonight are going to be in the range from 20 to 35 miles per hour. That's all night into very early tomorrow morning. So your weather headlines look like this. One more warm and windy one. Storms going to be possible towards Thursday night into early Friday. Precipitation chances. Notice that sideways cloud there has a little snowflake in it or two. So we'll talk more about that in a few minutes.
You know, that could be a weather trivia question at the turn of the year. Out of how many days is McCook the hottest spot of Nebraska?
I think it's every day. So
It probably
Near,
is.
yeah.
All right, thank you very much, Rusty. In other news now, the Food Bank of Lincoln was filled with steady beets today.
They partnered with the Lead Center to present Stomp to End Hunger. Look at him go. Stomp is a musical group taking a stop in Lincoln during their national tour, and the Lead Center took the opportunity to raise awareness of food insecurity here in Lincoln. Several dance studios took part in a food drive over the last couple of weeks, and today the Stomp cast got to play the food bank.
When you're walking down the side of the road and you might be in a neighborhood with just concrete and grass and mailboxes, there's not much to drum on. You walk into a warehouse in the food bank and pretty much a playhouse for things to make music out of. So we walked in and try to get creative with the things that we found.
The CEO of the food bank says after this performance, she'll never look at the warehouse the same way again. And coming up, as cases of RSV are on the rise across the country, we take a look at how we are faring here locally.
That story and your full forecast after the break.
I'm Patty Pansing Brooks, and I approve this.
We've been hearing a lot about RSV cases filling up hospital beds across the country.
And Lincoln is no different. How much of a concern is it? Well, Channel 8's Mackenzie Johnson joins us now from the newsroom with more. Mackenzie?
Following patterns from previous years, doctors are worried that case numbers are only going to increase in the coming months. They're talking about what they're calling a trifecta of viruses: RSV, influenza, and COVID-19. Doctors from CHI St. Elizabeth and Bryan Health say the severity of RSV cases in children is worrying because the peak is normally not until December or January. Unlike COVID-19 and the flu, RSV, which is a respiratory virus, does not have any vaccine available, so patients have to let their body fight it off.
There's been different exposures in the past couple of years where people have not been exposed several times already because of COVID mitigation measures, possibly.
Getting into the hospital at Bryan Health has been challenging because of our high volumes. It's not uncommon for us to have patients waiting in the emergency department for a bed to get onto a medical unit or a surgical unit.
In the past month, Bryan Health has hit an all-time record of 588 patients receiving care on 2 separate occasions. Of course, not all of that is RSV, but it shows the demand on medical professionals right now. To prevent yourself from getting sick, experts suggest getting the COVID-19 booster and a flu shot. Doctors are also asking people with mild symptoms to avoid going to the ER. Instead, they're saying first you should call a medical professional. I'll have more on advice from doctors on how to stay healthy during the holidays tonight at 10.
All right, Mackenzie Johnson from our newsroom tonight. Thank you so much.
Now, your Storm Alert team forecast with Chief Meteorologist Rusty Dawkins.
So even though the wind is blowing about 1,000 miles an hour, the leaves on the trees are still trying to hang on. So we have a fantastic groundworks cam shot. This has been my favorite thing to look at all day. I'm barely getting any work done because I just look outside at this view. Got a little shimmy of the camera there because it is windy. This is the Aurora cam, the Penner Bathing Solutions cam. Look at that. Those poor flags are just whipping around with wind gusts anywhere from 35 to 40 miles per hour. The wind speed sustained is 23 miles per hour in Aurora, 30 miles per hour in York, 25 in Lincoln, 22 in Beatrice. But the wind gusts are Aurora at 32 miles per hour, Grand Island at 38, 45 at the airport in Lincoln, 41 in Wahoo. So these purplish colors here, likely between 40 and 45 miles per hour. Zooming out though, you'll notice that the other side of the state is going, you guys can have the wind because they don't have any. But eventually a cold front is going to roll through. Switch the wind around, and this is really kind of cool. There's more than one way to watch a cold front. Usually we have this on our other graphics where you actually see the cold front, but look at this. This is the cold front, and you're going to be able to see the line just progressively move to the east, but notice the wind barbs here are facing the other direction, out of the northwest that way, but out of the south here. So this cold front rolls through, there it is, you can really see it, and as soon as it goes by, boy, those winds just switch out of the north, and they calm down a little bit, still a little gusty, anywhere from 20 to 30 miles per hour, but as soon as that cold front rolls through, colder air is going to pool in as we head into the second half of the week and into the weekend. Temperatures right now, though, you wouldn't know it's February. You wouldn't know it's November. 77 degrees in Lincoln, 75 in Friends, 75 in York, 78 in Grand Island. It's just warm out there. A few clouds in central and north and northeastern Nebraska. Otherwise, just very quiet. There's said cold front. This is how we usually watch the cold front. In front of it, some moisture, maybe some patchy fog early Thursday morning. And then this thing eventually makes its way to the east. Now, on the other side of this, some rain-snow mix is going to make its way into parts of the panhandle and western and north central Nebraska. And then some storms start to pop up around midnight to 2 a.m. early Friday morning. And then they really kind of gather some oomph. And by 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, we may be waking up to some thunderstorms rolling through. Small chance of those being on the severe side. Through 8 a.m., then they kick on out of here, and then on the other side of that, that cold air really moving in. But we do have just a marginal risk for south central and southeastern Nebraska. The better chance for stronger storms will be in parts of Oklahoma and Texas Thursday night into Friday morning. So the forecast for tonight, temperatures way above average. We should be around 33. We're going to be in the upper 50s to around 60. So very warm. 58 partly cloudy, south wind 15 to 30. That wind sticks around for the day tomorrow. There's the cold front. You can really see it right there. Everything west is going to be much colder than everything east. We'll be in the middle 70s for at least one more day, and then mostly cloudy, storm chance late, and that wind sticks around. So look at the difference from Thursday to Friday. Goodness, 75 degrees on Thursday, 46 on Friday. A lot going on here. Chance for storms Thursday night into Friday morning, and then most of the day on Friday will be just kind of cloudy, maybe some light rain showers after those storms roll through, and then late Friday night into Saturday, a light rain snow mix is a possibility, likely before the sun rises. So I think the game is going to be dry, 55 degrees, and then we get back into the 60s for a few days, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. So an interesting weather pattern setting up. Finally, some precipitation potential for many of us. Hopefully, if you need the moisture, you get it, and then we quiet down and warm back up for next week.
Yeah, speaking of that moisture, I had a few leaves left to rake. I was like, oh, this morning it's going to be nice and warm. I tried to go out and rake leaves in this. It was futile.
Yeah.
They were just blowing all over anyway. So.
You're kind of like, why did I even start?
Yeah. Oh, I attempted for about 5-10 minutes. I'm like, no.
Did your husband get video of this? Because that's gold.
Thankfully, no. He's at work. No.
Aurora?
No, she can work a phone, but not that well.
Okay.
All right, thank you very much, Rusty. Not a great day on Wall Street. The Dow falling over 500 points. NASDAQ also going down 366. S&P losing nearly 100 points. Here are your numbers. You're watching Channel 8, Nebraska's trusted news source.
Study uses a teeny tiny tumbling course to prove that, like humans, when given the choice, bumblebees will choose playtime almost every time.
Jeremy Roth has tonight's. Take a look at this.
A scientific study out of the UK that looks like a miniature tumbling class for bees is generating quite a buzz. The London-based study, which sought to prove that bees like to play, gave a group of bumblebees two options: a clear, straight path to food or one filled with miniature wooden balls. The bees not only preferred the pint-sized play area, most stopped to play with the balls, rolling them around. Some tumbled with the playthings up to 44 times in a day. Not only did the research suggest the bees found the playtime rewarding, the study also found that younger bees rolled more balls than older ones, mirroring the human behavior of playful young children. Not interesting enough for you? Check this out. Another UK bee study showed swirling swarms of honeybees can produce as much electricity as a thunderstorm. The study says bees' rapidly flapping wings create a static charge, and in the great numbers of an observed large swarm, the buzzing bees created an atmospheric charge similar to that of a storm cloud. Unsurprisingly, the researchers found the new evidence, well, shocking. Finally, Halloween may be over, but ghosts are still lurking. You just need a multi-million-dollar high-powered telescope to see them. The European Southern Observatory released an eerie image of what they called the ghost of a long-dead megastar called the Vela supernova. The floating, wispy trails of multicolored gases are all that remain of the massive star that met its explosive end some 11,000 years ago. For Take a Look at This, I'm Jeremy Roth.
All right, let's get a final check of your forecast with Rusty.
We have temperatures that are going to be up and then way down. This is going to be an incredible shock to our system when we go from 75 to 46 in just 24 hours time. It is going to be windy tomorrow and warm again, but then a chance for storms kicks in Thursday night into early Friday, and then a chance for rain, maybe even some snow late Friday into Saturday.
All right, thank you, Rusty, and thank you all for joining us.
World News is next. We'll see you back here at 6.
With the Channel 8 News mobile app, you'll be the first to know. Get alerts about breaking news and weather, all in the palm of your hand.
Amigos has new Cheesy Ranch Nachos with our famous ranch and spicy cheese, and new Avocado Ranch Nachos with handcrafted guacamole, now at Amigos.
Closed captioning on Channel 8 Eyewitness News is brought to you by Kristen